My name is 𝐿𝐺𝐻𝐸. Welcome to Ministry of Inspiration with Chrislove. Please, I'm a venue where I interact with community leaders and representatives to learn one or two things about them, about what they're doing, in order to share with members of the community to inspire them. So thank you so much, Andrew, for joining me today. And
you're welcome.
And I'll be beginning the interview with a couple of questions, and then your answer can go as detailed as you want to go or as brief as you want to go. Okay, so the first question is, who are you? Just like an introduction.
Hi, Christian. It's great to be here with you. My name, as you already alluded, is Andrew Micklefield. I'm currently the MLA for an area called Russmore. That's in North Kildonan in Winnipeg. I'm also the Deputy Speaker at the Manitoba Legislature, and that's an appointment from the Premier of our province, Heather Stephenson, who asked me to do that about a year ago. Prior to holding that, I have served as party whip, as government house leader. I've chaired many committees and participated in many other committees, including executive committees of cabinet, also a committee on the state of child welfare in the province of Manitoba. I've worked a lot with newcomers and refugees. In fact, it was that work when I was formerly the principal at the King's School in North Kildonan that gained me positive political attention and propelled me to seek election by the grace of God successfully 2016 and subsequently in the 2019 election. And I will be running in the upcoming 2023 election, currently scheduled for October of next year. Outside of the legislature, I'm married for 23 years to my wife, Ruth. We have 3 children. Simeon is 18, Chloe is 16, and Ezra is 14. So we're very grateful for them. They are lots of fun, and parenting teenagers provides many opportunities, not only for fun, but sometimes for all kinds of surprises as well. We have a great family, and I'm very, very, very blessed. I guess beyond family, I was born in the UK in 1978. I'm 44 years old. I was born in Mansfield, England, lived in Nottingham for the first couple of years when I was just a baby and a toddler, and then moved down to the Cotswolds, Oxfordshire, where I lived until I was 11 years old. In 1989, I came to Winnipeg with my parents who immigrated here. So I've gone through the immigrant experience like many in our city. I finished my high school, graduated from Transcona Collegiate, also the University of Winnipeg with an education degree, served as a pastor for 11 years, where I started my master's degree, which is almost complete. And then, as I already mentioned, was a school principal in an independent school that helped many refugee children, and was elected to the legislature, like I just said, for in 2016. So there's a brief summary. I also enjoy cooking. I like ethnic food, and I'm also a drummer and percussionist.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, I was reading your profile and I saw the electric. I was like, yes, this is one thing I really love. I love cooking too, and I love cooking like different type of food, and I like trying new food too. So, but it's looking at your profile, it's a very, very detailed. I learned. I was just going through some of the things you just said now about your participation, the work you did with the refugee community, and as a principal and other. When I was reading your profile, I was so inspired by that. And one thing I wanted to ask, which will lead me to my next question, is how did you start your political career?
When I was principal at the King's School, we helped dozens, and I think I could probably say hundreds of newcomers and refugees. Mm-hmm. Many of them were coming at that time from Eritrea, from Ethiopia, and other African countries. At least those were the people who were reaching out to our school. Now remember, many of these people came to Canada because of religious freedom issues. Some of them had been persecuted. Some of them had undergone some pretty horrendous experiences in their home country. They came to Canada because their faith was a very important part of their life. And so when they found a school that incorporated their Christian faith alongside Manitoba curriculum, they were quite attracted to that possibility. We assisted them financially and in many other ways. I remember taking students to buy shoes. I helped families get housing. I, on one occasion, was privileged to help reunite a family together. And actually, I've done that more than once. But it was that work with newcomers that gained some positive political attention. And I was honored by local officials and by federal officials. And some of those people started to talk with me about the possibility of being elected. And my wife and I, after deliberating about it for actually a couple of years, decided to take first steps. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Wow, that's so much, and that's so much inspiring, especially the fact that you didn't want to, oh, I want to become a politician, I want to go into politics and do this and do that, and seeing that people in the community looking at what you did, what you've been doing, helping people, helping new immigrants, helping the refugee members of the refugee community, helping them to research. People are like, oh, why don't you take this a little further to go into the political one? And it's good to see that the people that want you to be there, not just that, oh, you want to be there, but the people also are really passionate about you being there. And I was reading your profile, and I saw that you defeated the person that was in that position in the office before. That's to show you the power of the people, right? The willingness of the people to support you, to back you up, even for what you're doing. And for you to have been re-elected too, it means that you're actually doing a great job. You're not just there. So that's quite inspiring. And thank you for the awesome work you're doing. Which is taking to my next question is, what's your inspiration? What keeps you going? Why are you so much into the things you do? What's your inspiration behind your work?
Well, I think two things come to mind. One is future and the other is present. I really want to leave and create a better province for my children and for my children's generation. I think it's very important that we act responsibly. Those of us who are here now, today, that we are making decisions that have the best interests of future generations at mind. I'm not sure that's always been done. In fact, I don't think it has. When I think of the former NDP government, who, for example, took Manitoba Hydro, which when they came into office had less than $5 billion of debt. That's a big number, $5 billion.
That's a lot.
But they built more hydro projects. They built them. They went over budget on those projects. There's a lot of controversy about whether or not they should even have been built. Many think that was not necessary. That power lines were run in the wrong places, and at the end of all of that, they ended up having $25 billion of debt. That's right, from $5 billion to $25 billion. That's what the previous government handed Manitobans. That is thousands, that is tens of thousands of dollars of new debt for every man, woman, and child in this province. And what that means is that right now, your hydro bill and mine, 40 cents on the dollar is an interest payment.
Wow.
So that is not responsible government. Under the previous NDP government, Manitoba led the country in child poverty. Food bank use was at an all-time high. We were apprehending children at a rate faster than any other province per capita. And I saw many things which were not good for the present and not good for the future. And that really concerns me, Christian. And I have tried to be part of a government that thinks both in terms of the immediate, but also in terms of the future as well. And so, our spending is better than it has been. And that's a positive thing. I led a committee on child welfare and made a number of recommendations on that committee. You can read them all online. And out of those recommendations, real changes have been made. Fewer children are taken from their parents in this province. We've actually seen a decrease in the number of children in care. Yes. And I consider that to be a success. Yes. Kids belong with their parents. Parents have the right to direct and care for their own children. And I understand there are complicated times when that's not possible. but I think we can find creative ways to make that work. And I think we've been doing a better job at addressing some of those issues. So there's a whole swirl of issues, but I'm very concerned. Our society is not pointed in a good direction in many ways. We need good people in public office to influence and make some positive changes so that we can be making decisions that affect our children. I think actually Canada's own Indigenous heritage can teach us something. There's an Indigenous teaching that says that everything you do, you should think of how it will affect 5 or 7 generations from now. Right. And I think if we did that, the governments would behave quite differently. So I'm certainly wanting to advocate for that kind of thinking. I think that's very wise. And those are kinds of things that make me go to work. I think as well, I always enjoy helping people one-on-one. I always have individual situations in my inbox. I'm just looking, I've got 21 emails this afternoon that I'm going to be looking at. And many of them, I'm just scanning them right now, are those people, those very people who need help, those very people who need assistance, and those very people who need something done. And so I really get joy from seeing requests and situations get answered. I'm able to help people and move things forward. I hope I can keep doing that.
Yeah, that's so good. Thank you so much for sharing those. And it's inspiring getting to sometimes when we see the leaders up there, we don't know how much they are doing until we get to have like conversations like this with you and get to understand what keeps you going, why you're doing the things you're doing, and with your experiences, the things that you have seen, those are really encouraging and more inspiring even to keep doing the things you're doing. My next question, which you already touched on, will be what keeps you going despite the challenges that are coming, especially I know now we are in the process of recovering from COVID, but last year and 2 years ago, the COVID came and there are a lot of challenges that came across with that. What keeps you going despite the challenges?
What keeps me going is, well, I'm going to say 2 things, and one of them might be a little bit controversial or vulnerable. The first that keeps me going, and it is in order, the first that keeps me going is my Christian faith. I am a practicing Christian, and so prayer and scripture and church and faith are really a very important thing for me. And really that is the fuel that helps me in all areas of my life. The second thing that keeps me going is my wife and my family. I'm so grateful that I come home to a woman who is strong, capable, but also kind and generous. And she and I talk through many things. She often confronts me, and she frequently disagrees with me, but that is a help. She also gives me much perspective. And so I'm very, very grateful for a wife who has been a tremendous help to me in countless ways for 23 years, and it'll be 24 years in about 6 months. So that's what keeps me going. That's where I look to for strength every day, every week, every month, and every year. Many other things in politics come and go and change, but those things, I have them before politics, and I'll have them after politics, whenever that may be.
Wow, that's inspiring. Thank you for sharing that. Because personally, too, I'm a person of faith, and I believe in Jesus, right? And that's what keeps me going. One of the key things that keeps me going is my understanding of the Word of God, and the fact that I know that God cares for me no matter what situation I find myself. So getting to know that there's somebody also in government and politics that also hold that view that it's not ashamed to talk about what hold them, because sometimes we get too carried away by things we want to. Everybody can say do whatever they want to do, but not letting any other person's view influence what you have, right? So that's really good to see that your faith is what keeps you going. For me, that's what keeps me going every day, to even the challenges, the good part, the good things, the bad thing, all of them is being, because I believe in Jesus, that helped me to be more graceful. And also congratulations for your 22 years of marriage. That's a big deal.
Yeah, 23.
Just
23. Coming up 24 next summer. Yeah.
Wow, that takes a lot of humility, takes a lot of love and kindness to keep that union going. So I really appreciate God for your life and also for you sharing that with me. And congratulations. I look forward it's like I'm inviting myself to your 24th anniversary.
Well, if there's a party, you keep your eyes open for it. Usually we make these things quiet affairs, but who knows? Maybe this year we'll pull out the stops.
That's really good. So thank you for sharing that. And then my last question will be, what's your next goal? I think you touched on this a little bit. What's your next goal or ambition?
My next goal is always the next person who comes to help me, or comes, to ask for my help.
Yeah.
Like I say, after this call, I have another call, and then I've got a couple dozen people who are saying, Andrew, how can you help me? I just came from a meeting with my staff where we're discussing how we can help dozens of other people in many other situations. So my next goal on the immediate is always help those people that reach out to my office. And I think we do not a bad job of that. I have a couple of wonderful staff who are very capable and good at helping people. But I think in the medium term, I am quite concerned about conversations that are being had around drugs and homelessness in our city. I think that there are two extremes. One is that we throw these people in prison, and all drug users, they go to jail. I don't personally think that is the right solution to make criminals out of people who are stuck in addictions. We know the prison system is very expensive, and we also know it doesn't have the best track record when it comes to helping people break the cycle of addiction. And of course, very often when people commit crimes, addictions are behind those crimes. So to incarcerate them for the crime without addressing the root cause of addiction, which itself often has root causes, is really short-sighted. But the other extreme is to decriminalize drugs, to even use tax dollars to purchase drugs to give to people. It's called safe supply. And often you'll hear about safe injection sites, and safe supply and safe injection sites often go together. And I'm very concerned about that. We know this has been attempted in other cities. They will say, well, we saved lives because some people will overdose right on the doorstep or right inside the safe injection site facility. But actually the statistics show that 70% of overdoses happen inside somebody's home. And so when you start handing out drugs with taxpayer dollars, you increase the number of things. You increase a whole host of social challenges. And I think we need to look very carefully at this and know what we're getting into if we are going to effectively address that. And I think that we can with a variety of recovery and harm reduction methods. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation, but it is a situation where there are some intelligent, informed, and sadly painful lessons that have been learned. I want us to learn those lessons and take them away. I don't want us to repeat them here in Winnipeg. So that's a medium-term goal. And then a long-term goal is to be re-elected next October. And anybody watching who would like to help me, maybe they can reach out to me online. Just Google my name. You'll find my website, and you can reach me through there or on social media as well.
Okay. So thank you so much for sharing those with me, and I wish you all the best in the election. I hope you win the next election so that you continue to do the excellent things that you're doing, helping the community. But thank you so much for taking that time even to be with me today. I know I was supposed to be with you in person, but due to circumstances, I didn't have to make it online today. I'm looking forward to actually coming to your office sometime soon. But thank you so much again for taking time even to be with me today. I know it's a very busy time for you, and you taking that time. I'm really grateful for this opportunity. So thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Christian. All the best to you.